Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
The Minnehaha County State's Attorney has not decided whether to pursue the death penalty in the case against Dylan Castamore. Monday, the Sioux Falls man accused of killing his infant son was officially charged with first-degree murder and entered a not guilty plea. If convicted of first-degree murder, he'll either face the death penalty or a mandatory life sentence.
The decision is up to the prosecutor, and State's Attorney Daniel Hanger says it's still under review. Castamore's son, 8-week-old Daxton, died at Avera McKinnon Hospital late last month. According to an autopsy, he died of a skull fracture. Court documents say Daxton also had a lacerated liver, bruising, and broken ribs. Days earlier, Castamore brought the baby to an emergency room with a black eye. A promotion by the Sioux Falls Stampede struck a nerve with some people. The team held a dash for cash with 10 local teachers.
$5,000 was spread on a rug on the ice at the game on Saturday. The teachers then had time to grab as much money as they could.
The intentions were good, but it kind of misses the mark. The latest survey from the adoptaclassroom.org indicates that on average, teachers are spending about $750 out of their own pockets to give to their students for the supplies that they need to learn.
The Stampede released a statement saying it apologizes to all teachers for any embarrassment the event may have caused.
The statement goes on to say that with CU Mortgage Direct, it is giving an additional $500 to the teachers who participated, as well as $500 to the 21 other teachers who applied.
Now let's get a check of our morning weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Parts of KELOLAND melting snow and maybe some rain and storms tomorrow, Brian?
Yeah, quite a number of things to talk about tomorrow. Let's jump into one of those headlines. We already have high wind warnings that are going to go into effect for western South Dakota, southern South Dakota, running all the way to Sioux Falls. That's tomorrow, mainly applying to tomorrow late afternoon and tomorrow evening. That's when the winds throughout much of Iowa, much of Nebraska. In fact, the entire state of Nebraska now is under a high wind warning for tomorrow. There's going to be 50 to 70 mile-an-hour winds, just plain wind blowing around the prairies tomorrow. Our gusts here in KELOLAND probably at least 50 to 60, and we'll continue to watch where the worst of that goes. There's also some storm development, a very odd day 2 severe weather risk map for northwest Iowa. It includes damaging winds, isolated tornadoes within that yellow zone that does come into extreme southeast KELOLAND, including O'Brien and Dickinson County in northwest Iowa. The marginal risk actually comes all the way to Sioux Falls. Then on top of that, we've got blowing snow problems and maybe a flash freeze of some freezing rain mixed in tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night for the northeast, that is, including Aberdeen and Pierre. That's a lot of weather. We'll talk details coming up in just a couple minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Happening today, the Dakota Memorial Ride will be stopping in Madison as part of the group's annual journey across South Dakota and Minnesota. Each year, riders make the 320-mile trek on horseback from Lower Brule to Mankato, Minnesota.
This is to honor the 40 Native Americans who were hung in Mankato in 1862 and 1865. The goal of the ride is remembrance and reconciliation. Everyone is invited to Dakota State University at the Trojan Center for a meal and program starting at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $12. A local veteran got a Christmas surprise this year. One morning a couple weeks ago, Douglas Starr, who is a World War II and Korean War veteran, was sitting in his home when he saw two men laying out Christmas lights and decorating his home.
He didn't question it because he assumed it was his son-in-law who decorates his house every year. However, he was surprised when he found out the detailed display was actually done by volunteers from Dakotascape.
I didn't know it was put up for me until a week later. I just thought it was more Christmas decorations, and then all of a sudden I found out that the American Legion had been asked to recommend a veteran's home, and so they recommended me.
The light display consists of a Patriot theme with red and white lights strung through the tree branches and blue and white lights along the roofline.
First responders in Rapid City are trying to make this Christmas season special for kids in the community. Last night they went shopping to get presents for those who might not otherwise receive any. The Rapid City Fire Department posted this video of the event to its Twitter page.
It's called Badges and Kids. It's put on by Black Hills Badges for Hope. Members of the Rapid City Fire Department, Rapid City Police Department, and Pennington County Sheriff's Office were all involved. Kids even got to wrap the gifts after they were bought. That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather it is. Let's look through some of the elements today. Pretty tame weather. I think highs in the low 60s, Sioux Falls. I should say Rapid City. Not quite to Sioux Falls yet. Although tomorrow might be not far from that. Let's visit about this afternoon, though. 2 o'clock temperature, Aberdeen, mid-40s, pretty likely. Sioux Falls will be melting snow with low 40s. The overnight readings generally falling through the 30s. I would say one thing to consider tomorrow morning as the wind starts to get a little more steady out of the south. We could be looking at some fog issues, especially as we start to prop up those dew points a little bit. The relative humidity will grow closer to 100%. In terms of rain or snow chances early tomorrow morning, probably pretty minor. I don't really expect that to be an issue. But we close in past midday. Now remember, we've got high wind warnings for the west. We think there could be a window of some snow flying around here starting in western South Dakota and then edging eastward. The Aberdeen Weather Service office has already posted some winter weather advisories for that blowing snow. And then the other problem is in the southeast. We have to figure out how warm is it going to get. With 6 inches of snow on the ground, that number of 59 seems, that's a stretch. Honestly, that would be extremely difficult to get to, but we have some data trying to at least push us 55 to 60. So we'll kind of hedge our bets. We'll go 55 for our official high in Sioux Falls. Areas northwest Iowa could hit some 60s. If we do that, we're probably looking at a 2-hour window of severe weather chances, probably beginning about 2:30 in the afternoon tomorrow, lasting until about 4:30 or 5 o'clock. It's going to be a really fast-moving line of thunderstorms there just south of Sioux Falls, and then that'll blow through. There could be some wind. There might even be a tornado threat south and east of Spencer, Iowa. We just have to watch that. That's kind of an oddity to even begin to talk about that. And then on the backside of it, well, the wind is going to be excessively strong. I think 50 to 60 very likely coming into Sioux Falls tomorrow evening. The temperature's going to drop. We're going to be looking at maybe a period of snow in there too, and if that happens, there could be a couple of hours where we could get into a snow squall warning where basically that'd be almost like a mini blizzard. It's possible. We still have to sift through a lot of information today, so we'll keep you posted and kind of hone in on where those things look to be most likely as we finish up this segment. Bottom line is, after we blow this system through, then the weather's going to tame down for a while. We're going to be into the 30s Thursday, Friday. Looks like we might get a little snow chance by Sunday. Nothing really threatening there on the extended forecast. So basically, it's a lot of wind and a nuisance amount of snow for Aberdeen here for tomorrow. And I would say Pierce probably still in that category too. It's not necessarily the amount of snow. It's just the sudden change of the temperature and the wind that picks up. So keep those things in mind as we blow in some more typical December weather. Find out more coverage with our forecast online at KELOLAND.com.